Right now at 6, a surge in e-bikes in the Tri-Valley. It's becoming a serious safety issue for the kids who ride them to school.
They're not walking anymore. They're not even taking traditional bicycles anymore.
It's becoming the ride for middle schoolers. The trick they're using to turn e-bikes into speed machines.
If it wasn't a problem, then we wouldn't need to address it.
Plus, San Francisco's new speed cameras catching about 1,000 violations a day.
Not shocking at all.
We check out the spot where most of them are happening.
People's lives are at stake.
And the Valkyries back in action, hoping to wow fans with their first win.
That's our purpose.
We'll take you inside the creative process to bring their new Chase Center court to life.
We wanted something that was unique, ownable, and that really stood out.
And later, a Bay Area group keeping Mexican dance traditions alive.
It's what I want to do forever.
We'll check in as they get ready to make their Carnival debut.
I feel amazing.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. We begin with a different sort of street safety crackdown. E-bikes have become hugely popular, but depending on who you ask, they're a convenience or a major nuisance. A UCSF study last year found the number of e-bike injuries across the country essentially doubled every year from 2017 to 2022. So that's why today, police departments in 5 cities in the Tri-Valley, plus the East Bay Regional Parks District, banded together for a crackdown on unsafe riding. So our John Ramus explains why police are focusing their efforts right now on local schools.
The e-bike revolution is happening quickly, and if you want to know how quickly, all you have to do is take a visit to your local middle school.
I didn't know how many bikes would be here, but I knew they'd be up.
When the school bell rings at Stone Valley Middle School, the kids head for home. But when it comes to how they get there, times have changed.
They're not walking anymore. They're not even taking traditional bicycles anymore. Now they're taking electronic bikes and scooters.
The electric, or e-bike, has taken Stone Valley by storm. And on this day, local bike safety advocates Alan Kalin and Bruce Bilodeau were welcomed in to take account of the number and types of e-bikes in the school's bicycle rack area. The change has been pretty astounding.
I was here in February and counted 51 electric motorcycles known as e-motos. Today, there are 70. That's only in 3 months.
How many regular bikes are here?
12.
12 regular bikes.
Kalin says this is no longer a bike rack. It's now a parking lot.
E-bikes are amazing. They really are. But these are not e-bikes. These are not e-bikes. These are electric motorcycles, and there is a difference. They weigh anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds. They will go from 20 to 35 miles an hour depending on how you modify it.
Class 2 e-bikes are the most popular with a top speed of 20 miles per hour, and as a result can be ridden at any age without a license. But the speed limit on many of them can be remotely raised or eliminated altogether through an online app.
The classes are dependent as far as their top speed goes, but then when they modify them, they go from 20 miles an hour to up to 50 miles an hour.
Captain Miguel Campos is with the Dublin Police Department. On this day, they joined other nearby departments for an e-bike safety enforcement day, issuing 36 warnings and 12 citations for reckless riding.
We just did it in the morning. We're going to focus till after school. During the summertime, we're going to ramp that up because now kids are going to be out of school, so they're going to be riding these vehicles all hours of the day.
But back at the middle school, Bilodeau says he's not sure how they can even enforce the current rules when the bikes can be modified so easily.
Yes. And that class 2 then becomes meaningless. So as an enforcement issue for a policeman, he comes up and sees a kid riding this. It's a class 2. He can't enforce anything. So they don't enforce it, and neither can the schools. So, you know, what do you do? And what Al and I are hoping to do is to take that class 2 and say kids under 16 should not be riding class 2, period.
That's a growing sentiment, banning throttle-controlled bikes for anyone under 16.
They do look fun, but you know, you get a kid with a throttle on a street, you're asking for trouble. I mean, you know, kids need to know what the consequences are, and they don't have a consequence gene when they're 12.
It wasn't long ago that e-bikes just helped you pedal. Now they've become full-fledged motorcycles, and lawmakers are racing to catch up to the technology, and they're probably having to go faster than 20 miles per hour to do it.
So the police captain says Dublin is currently working to draft local ordinances that would regulate how and where e-bikes can be operated. Back in March, supervisors in Marin County unanimously passed an ordinance to ban e-bike use for kids under 16. It was the first county in the state to do so. The ordinance applies to Class 2 e-bikes in unincorporated parts of the county, and it requires all Class 2 e-bike riders to wear helmets regardless of age. The ordinance is set to go into effect July 1st. So thousands of San Francisco drivers are being told to slow down after they are being caught by the city's brand new speed cameras. So get this, in the month of April alone, more than 31,000 warnings were issued to drivers caught on the city's new network of cameras. And that's about 1,000 a day. So in total, the city is installing cameras at 33 locations. 11 of those cameras aren't yet online. But data from the ones that are show the most violations were captured by the cameras at Fulton Street and 2nd Avenue at the border of Golden Gate Park. A street safety advocate says the cameras are a necessary addition to make people change their behavior.
Drivers need to slow down because people's lives are at stake. These are moms that don't get to hug their child at the end of the day, or never see their grandparent again. And these are real people's lives, and it could happen to anyone at any time.
Right now, drivers caught by the cameras will only receive warnings, but citations are expected to begin in August. Drivers could be hit with fines between $50 and $500 based on how fast they were going. An off-duty San Francisco police officer accused in a DUI crash faced a judge today. Ryan Kwong has been charged with 4 counts of driving under the influence causing injury and 3 counts of reckless driving. Our cameras were not allowed to show Kwong's face inside the courtroom. However, police say he was speeding through the Sunset Saturday night when he slammed into another car and a pole near Sunset Boulevard and Rivera Street. 4 people were hurt. Kwong had just graduated from the police academy 2 days before this crash. He is no longer employed by SFPD. Kwong's defense attorney says he accepts responsibility for what happened.
He's incredibly sorry for what happened. His thoughts right now are for the people who are injured and hopes that they have a speedy and full recovery, and he accepts responsibility for what happened.
His next scheduled hearing is June 4th. He's out on his own recognizance, meaning he's been released from jail as long as he promises to show up to future court appearances. All right, get ready. Tonight, Chase Center will be rocking again as the Valkyries host the Washington Mystics. You can watch that game on our sister station, KPIX+. Golden State is hoping to bounce back from a tough loss in their first regular season game on Friday. Not long ago, the players were out on the court getting ready. Our Kelsey Thord is following the Valkyries throughout their inaugural season. She joins us live with more on what makes this team and what makes that new court so special. Hey there.
Hey, Julia. Yeah, you might not think about the home court being something that took months to design and come up with, but that is exactly what the Valkyries have done. This is something that they put a lot of thought into, and there's so much hidden meaning in it. We got an exclusive tour from the Valkyries.
The first thing fans will see when they walk into Chase Center this summer is the Valkyries' brand new playing court. It's a design that was months in the making, and one Kimberly Veal, the team's senior vice president of marketing and communications, says holds a plethora of hidden meaning.
We wanted something that was unique, ownable, and that really stood out for the Valkyries.
Starting with the court's signature violet border. No other sports team in the world has this shade of purple as their main color, and that was intentional.
It was important to come out with a bold, strong color that really amplified the story of the Valkyrie.
Also unique, the court's chevron-patterned wood flooring.
This chevron to us leans into the bold, angular features of the brand, and it points into V's. So when you zoom out and look at it from the bowl, you can see kind of that subtle V pattern throughout the entire court.
In the center of the court lies the team's logo, a nod to both the Valkyrie mascot and the Bay Area.
So overarchingly, the shape is a V for victory for Valkyries. Down the middle, we've got the Bay Bridge, which is the connecting point, the connector between San Francisco, where Chase Center is located, where we play our home games, and the Sephora Performance Center in Oakland, where our team goes to work every day. That's our practice, where they practice, where our front office is headquartered. It also doubles as a sword, which is a common symbol associated with the Valkyries in the mythology. On the sides, you've got 5 slices, which double as the bridge cables and wings. So we know Valkyries can fly. It's one of their superpowers. So building that into the logo was important for us. And then throughout the entire logo, there's 13 lines to represent that we're the 13th team entering the WNBA.
There's also a few additions solely for this inaugural season, including a crest the players will run over every time they sub into a game.
Really just pulling in the strength and power of this brand.
Kimberly told me the goal was to create a bold, memorable look both fans would love to look at and the players would love to play on. She feels like they've succeeded in that. Now it's just time to put this shiny new court to some use.
It's really special to have had such a strong team designing it, the intentionality that went into it, but it's going to be really exciting to see this team come to life on this hardwood.
And Julia, you know, it's pretty cool to look at that court and just think of all of those little hidden meanings that are there. You know, the Valkyries front office told me that that court is actually the only court in the world with that chevron pattern. You think of iconic courts like the Boston Celtics. That is what they are trying to do here with the Valkyries, and so far, so good.
It's so cool. All right, Kelsey, if you stay there, are you going to be there most of the next half hour or hour? Because my daughter just texted me. She said she's going to the game with her coworkers. I'm going to have her come find you.
Have her come over. We'll interview her, and maybe, you know, we'll let you know what she says.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Kelsey. Good to see you. All right. We'll see you on the pre-game show as well. And of course, tonight is the night the Valkyries are taking on the Mystics and looking for the first win in franchise history. Pre-game coverage starts in just a moment on our sister station, PIX Plus. That's channel 44, cable 12. Still ahead here at 6, we're going to introduce you to a dance team getting ready to join the Carnival Parade for the first time in the group's history. Plus, he helped design revolutionary products like the iPhone and the iPad, and now he's joining OpenAI. What the move could mean for the AI arms race. Some dramatic video. It shows a driver suspected of street racing crashing into a pair of cars in Vacaville. Police say a black Mustang and a silver Corvette were racing down a freeway off-ramp when the Mustang slammed into one car, then hit another. One person was taken to the hospital. The Mustang driver was arrested and charged with reckless driving and speed racing. Police are still looking for the silver Corvette. Today, San Jose police honored their colleagues who died in the line of duty and sadly added a new name to the memorial.
Killed July 12,
the service was held at SJPD headquarters. 14 officers have been killed in the line of duty in San Jose since the department's inception. And this year, they included a community service officer in the memorial. You may recall Longfam was conducting traffic on Palm Avenue and Monterey Road in South San Jose when he was struck and killed by a drunk driver. This happened in August of last year.
It's a reminder that the risks of this profession don't only fall on sworn officers, but on everyone who wears a uniform in service to San Jose.
Pham was the first community service officer in the city to die in the line of duty. His partner was also injured in the crash. On to a celebrated designer behind the look of the iPhone and iPad, and he's joined OpenAI. Joni Ive made the announcement today in a social media video along with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. So it's all part of a $6.5 billion deal to acquire Ive's startup, I.O. Ive is a former Apple industrial designer. He's bringing dozens of engineers from his startup to help develop new hardware for the AI giant. Just 4 more days until the Carnival Parade takes over the streets of San Francisco. Max Darrow introduces us to one group that's making its Carnival debut, even if some of its members have been steeped in the traditions their entire lives.
That's the most important part.
Connection.
Here we go.
Is at the core of Kuikakali. Connection to the rhythm, to the earth below, to one's culture. And this year, Jesus Cortez and his students will get to connect with a crowd they've never had the chance to connect with before.
I always work to bring my culture to the highest point that I can. So to me, it's a fabulous honor to be able to bring this culture, my culture, to San Francisco.
For the first time ever, Cortez and his students will get to perform their Mexican folklorico dance routine in the Carnival Parade.
We have about 50 dancers who is going to be performing with us, and we are super excited to now go and take the streets with Carnival San Francisco here in the Mission District.
Many of his students have been with him since he started the dance group more than 15 years ago. That includes Fernanda Mercado, who started when she was 5.
Dance is just my passion. It's what I want to do forever.
She says it'll be an honor to perform in the Carnival Parade this year.
It's going to feel amazing. Bring it out first.
And she is especially proud.
You're right.
Of her connection to what you'll see in the Carnival Parade.
I'm really excited to showcase a choreography I'm going to make for one of our Carnival pieces. That's really exciting for me to be able to choreograph a dance.
My goal is then through dance, through the culture, they can maintain and sustain their identity and feel proud of who they are.
Come Parade Day, Cortez says Kuikakali will complement Carnival's colorful collage of cultures.
So it's going to be amazing to be part of the parade.
A new way to connect with the community Cortez is proud to call home.
Viva Carnaval! Viva San Francisco!
And of course, we will be bringing you live coverage of the Carnival Parade. It all starts Sunday at 10 a.m. on our sister station PIX Plus and streaming on CBS News Bay Area.
Coming up in the forecast, I know we're only like halfway through this week, and understandably, a lot of people are thinking about a big 3-day weekend. Do not make the mistake of thinking that weekend is going to look and feel like today. We're going to start changing things up. I'll show you how the Pacific is starting to wake up and remember where we are, and it's going to take away the warmth from today, if nothing else. Forecast on that's coming up. All right, I got to show you how things are going to change quite a bit as we go into the weekend, but the changing so much says way more about today and how much warmer today is than we're supposed to be for this time of year. Look, it's summer in the Bay. These are today's daytime highs. I'm going to show you a lot more locations in 1 second. But first, I want you to see that comparison. Didn't get out of the 50s all day today in Half Moon Bay. Let's come over to Oakland. 74, you probably weren't noticing much there, but you definitely were noticing things back here for Concord at 90. You weren't the only one that did it. Livermore did it. We were in the upper 80s in Santa Rosa today. In fact, let me show you where we were for everybody's daytime highs. In fact, what we'll do for this one is just some representative spots. So you can kind of pick out the general theme of how things went for today, because this is the setup to show you how over the next 3 days, we've got to give about 20 degrees back for some of those inland spots. Tomorrow, you take about half the step down, and then Friday, we finish. Friday is going to be the coolest day in the 7-day forecast. So what we'll take a look at on here is what Friday is going to look like, and just know that for Thursday, it's just about half as much of this drop. Look how much cooler you're going to be in just 2 days than you were today. Look at that number out there for Livermore. You're going to be 20 degrees cooler. You were right around 90 today. So your temperatures are going to like low 70s by Friday. You want to know what average is for this time of year? Pretty much low to mid 70s. So it's not necessarily that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and all 3 of those days are going to be a lot like this. They're not really doing anything unusual. Today was the weird day. Today was the day that was pretty well above average. We weren't breaking records, but we were about 10 to 15 degrees above average. All right, that's everybody's number for Friday. I'll get out of the way. So it's a lot of numbers on there. Go ahead and pick out your part of the Bay. Los Gatos, you're going to 70. We'll go to 71 in Vallejo. We'll hit 71 in Napa. Antioch, you're going to be in the mid-70s. Let's see if we can get Novato and Petaluma and Santa Rosa on there. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all three of those days are kind of the same. And then Monday, things will get a little more interesting. Let me show you why that is. Monday, it's going to get a bit breezier. It's going to get a bit cooler. And as we take a look out at what is building in the Pacific, see that spin in the clouds? That is what's going to start cooling things down for us by the time we get to Friday. That's the first drop. But behind that, let's clear that one out. Because behind that, there's another one. Now that one is trying to get here on Monday, AKA the holiday. On Monday, we'll stop that Sunday night. That is a weak cold front right there. See that line in the clouds? That then marches its way across the bay on Monday. No rain in it. You might not notice a whole lot, but it is going to get a little breezier on Monday. We'll have a few more clouds around on Monday, and the temperatures may drop even a little more than what you will have done on Friday. Nothing crazy. It's just that of the 3-day weekend, Monday might actually be the cooler and perhaps even breezier of the three. Let's see what it looks like in the 7-day forecast. We'll start out with our inland microclimates. You can see where that number takes a bit of a dip there. Maybe not even all that noticeable. If you just looked at the numbers, you'd think, oh, Monday's maybe a little nicer, but it's breezier. It's breezier and a bit cloudier, like a layer cake of clouds on Monday. This is a great holiday weekend, don't get me wrong. Keep your plans. I just didn't want you to think your holiday weekend is going to look and feel like today, because it won't. It'll be noticeably cooler and breezy and cloudy. And in other words, Juliet, it's going to be average, because we were pretty much anything but average for today.
How did you know I was thinking that today? Because today I was like, that is an amazing day. Is someone talking in your ear right now?
No, not anymore. I turned it off.
You did?
Yeah.
All right, when we come back,
Yeah.
what you need to know if you want to score tickets to the Grateful Dead tribute shows coming to Golden Gate Park this summer. Yeah, someone was talking to me. Did you hear?
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Deadheads, get ready. Details are out for this summer's 3-night celebration of Grateful Dead music in Golden Gate Park. Dead and Company, the offshoot of the iconic Bay Area band, will play August 1st through the 3rd at the Polo Field. They're commemorating 60 years of Grateful Dead music. Ticket packages start at $635 for the full weekend. Pre-sale starts next Wednesday. General public sales open May 30th, so you can get single-day tickets later, starting at $245. There'll be special guest performances each day, starting with bluegrass guitarist Billy Strings, then Sturgill Simpson, and his alter ego, Johnny Blue Skies. And finally, the Trey Anastasio Band. Anastasio, sorry, I'm butchering this. Organizers are expecting 60,000 people per day, but then look at this. One last reminder, we're about 30 minutes from tip-off at Chase Center. Valkyries taking on the Mystics, looking for that win of the franchise history for their first game. Coverage starts in just a moment on our sister station, PIX Plus. That's channel 44, cable 12. Woo, that's a lot. In the meantime, CBS Evening News is next. We're streaming always on our local streaming service, Bay Area, CBS News Bay Area. More news right here at 7 o'clock just for you. But go Valkyries. Woo.